He stepped out of the black Rolls-Royce like he owned the damn sky. And maybe in some twisted way he did. People called him Mr. Cole, but his name was Nathaniel Cole, the youngest self-made billionaire on the East Coast. Ruthless, arrogant. The kind of man who didn't believe in accidents or sorry. If you were in his way, you were the problem. Simple math. It was raining that afternoon. Not the soft, movie kind of rain, but the hard, cold kind that soaked you straight to your bones. His Italian shoes clicked sharply on the marble pavement as he headed into the art gala. His gala. He didn't smile. He never smiled unless he was about to crush a competitor or seal a deal that left someone else in ruins. Outside, near the back entrance, a girl stood alone. She looked like a smudge on a clean canvas. Tiny, soaked, frail. Her white cane tapped the ground slowly, cautiously. She was blind, clearly, and shivering like a leaf. Her clothes were thin, tattered, not begging, not speaking, just waiting like she was trying to find something or someone. Nathaniel didn't notice her at first. He was too busy barking into his earpiece. But as he rounded the corner, she accidentally stepped in, front of him, her cane brushing his shoe. Water splashed from the corner of the walkway, soaking his pants. He snapped. "Are you blind, girl?" he barked. She didn't flinch. Her cloudy, colorless eyes simply blinked, unseeing. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean—" Smack. His hand struck her cheek before the thought even formed. Sharp, loud, brutal. A security guard turned but said nothing. Nathaniel was untouchable after all. The girl stumbled but didn't fall. Her jaw trembled. "I didn't know you were there. And now you know, don't block my way again," he spat, stepping past her like she was trash blown into his path. That should have been the end of it, but fate has a funny way of wrapping arrogance in thorns. That night after the gala, he got a call. Unknown number. He usually ignored those, but something made him pick up. A quiet voice whispered, "You touched the wrong girl." Then silence. He frowned. Who the hell is this? No answer. Weird, he thought. Probably some protester. Maybe even the media. They'd spin anything these days. He threw the phone onto the passenger seat, started the engine, and drove off into the storm. But it began. Small things at first. His bank account locked, just for a day. Glitch, they said. Then his assistant quit. No warning. She'd been with him for 7 years. Next, a supplier backed out of a $2 million deal. "Sorry, Mr. Cole, new management." He started snapping at employees, firing people left and right. But the worst part, the whispering. Everywhere he went, people stared, whispered, looked away like he smelled foul. He didn't understand. No one was saying anything. But something had shifted. Then came the photo, sent to every major media outlet. A freeze frame from a security cam outside the gala. The moment his hand met that blind girl's face, the world erupted. Billionaire attacks disabled girl outside his charity gala. He denied it, called it fake, claimed it was staged. But the girl, she never came forward, not once, no interviews, no GoFundMe, nothing. She vanished like smoke. And that haunted him. Because deep down, something told him. She wasn't just a poor blind girl, she was something else, something he should have never touched. Nathaniel Cole barely slept the next night. His PR team scrambled like ants, but they couldn't. Plug the holes fast enough, the internet was boiling. Twitter was one giant bonfire of hashtags. Blind Justice, Yara Cancel Cole, Monster in a Monogram. And still the girl never showed her face. No apology to accept, no lawsuit to fight. Just silence. Then came the flowers, a bouquet of white peonies, his mother's favorite. Long dead now. He hadn't told anyone that detail. No assistants, no public records, but there they were on his desk. No note, just a single braille card tucked inside, with a tiny burn mark on one corner. He stared at it for hours before rage took over and he slammed it into the wall. What the hell is going on? His security head, Malcolm, was ex-Special Forces, a ghost with muscles. He reviewed the cameras. There's no footage of anyone delivering the flowers. What do you mean, no footage? I mean, Mr. Cole, Malcolm said grimly, it's like they walked through walls. Nathaniel felt it then, a rare thing for him. Fear. But fear didn't stop him. He started hunting for the girl, quietly. Paid off a few informants. Got a street name, Elijah, no last name, no ID. Just a ghost who wandered the alleys near the old cathedral before vanishing. So he went there. He rolled up in his black Escalade past midnight and found the place dead. Silent, not even a stray dog. But there on the church steps sat a boy, maybe 10, holding a ragged teddy bear, no shoes. Nathaniel stepped out, unsure why he even bothered. You seen a blind girl around here? White cane? Pale eyes? The boy nodded slowly. She's watching you. Nathaniel frowned. Where is she? The boy smiled, a soft, creepy smile. She's under your skin now. What did you say? He asked sharply. But the boy was gone, not ran, gone. He blinked. The steps were empty, like the kid had never been there. When he returned to his car, it wouldn't start. The screen on the dashboard flickered. Then it lit up with a single word, confess. Nathaniel leapt out, heart hammering. The lights in the street flickered. He went home, shaking. Alone in his penthouse, he poured himself a drink and muttered, I'm losing it. Then his television turned on by itself, security feed from 10 years ago. A hidden file he didn't know existed, a memory he'd buried. It showed a young woman, barely 18, being dragged out of a luxury hotel room by Nathaniel's private guards. She was crying, screaming, accusing him of ruining her, of threatening her if she spoke out. She looked just like Elijah. But that couldn't be. That girl was Egon. He had made sure of it. He stared at the screen as the girl's voice played again and again. You'll pay. One day, you'll beg to see what I see. Then the screen went black. He collapsed on the couch, breathing hard. And in that darkness, he heard a soft voice whisper near his ear, I warned you not to touch me. Nathaniel didn't sleep that night. Couldn't. Every sound felt like a whisper. Every shadow seemed to lean in too close. He kept turning the lights on and off, like he could flip sanity back into place. By morning, he had his security team sweep the entire penthouse. No bugs, no signs of break-ins. But the video, that damn video, was real. The timestamp didn't lie. And the girl in it, she wasn't blind. She was scared, angry. And her eyes, those same pale, almost colorless eyes he saw on Elijah, were burning with something he didn't recognize back then. Something ancient. He ordered Malcolm to dig deeper. I don't care what it costs. I want everything on her. Name, family, history, pull archives, police records, old clinic files, whatever. By evening, Malcolm returned, pale as the girl's eyes. There's nothing, sir. Nathaniel slammed his fist down. Don't give me that. She didn't crawl out of hell. Malcolm hesitated. That's the thing. I think she might have. He slid a yellowed newspaper across the table, dated 12 years ago. Headline read, Tragic fire claims orphanage, 13 children dead, including blind girl. Elijah. Nathaniel stared at it. His hands shook. That's impossible. She was buried. There's a death certificate. But get this, her file vanished from the morgue a year later. So did the coroner who signed it. Nathaniel's mouth went dry. Sir, Malcolm said slowly, people whisper that she cursed that place before she died, that the fire didn't kill her. It set her free. He stood, nearly knocking his drink over. You believe this? Ghost story crap? But something was already coiling in his gut, tight, cold. He couldn't ignore it anymore. That slap, that one moment of arrogance, had been more than a mistake. It had been a summoning. Later that night, he stared at himself in the mirror, bags under his eyes, sweating, rambling under his breath. Then the reflection blinked. He hadn't. He stepped back. His reflection grinned, then reached up and clawed its own eyes out. Blood smeared the glass, but his face remained untouched. He screamed, ran, into the hallway, and right there, standing, perfectly still, was Elijah. No cane, no hesitation, just her white eyes staring at him. You wanted to see me, she whispered. Now you will. He turned and ran, elevator, lobby, anywhere, but the moment he hit the street, everything looked wrong. The sky was black, no stars. The buildings, distorted, like melted wax. No cars, no people, just him, and the soft, tap, tap, tap of her cane behind him, even though she wasn't using it. He spun. She was there again, closer. "You built your empire on people like me," she said softly. "Crushed girls who had no voice. But I see now. I see everything." He fell to his knees. "Please. I didn't know. I didn't remember." "Exactly," she whispered, bending low, her voice now echoing with something not human. "You never remember the lives you ruin." She placed 2 fingers on his temples, and suddenly he was her, in a hospital bed, screaming, blind, betrayed, drugged. He saw himself walk in, smirking, tearing up papers, telling doctors to get rid of her. Then the fire, the smoke, the screaming children. Then darkness. He snapped back, trembling, sobbing. "I'll give you money," he gasped. "I'll donate, change, anything, please." But Elia just stepped back, fading into the mist that crept over the ground. "This is not revenge," she said. "This is justice, and it's only just begun." Then she vanished, and Nathaniel Cole, billionaire tycoon, was left screaming in a world that no longer recognized him. The next morning, Nathaniel woke up on a cold sidewalk. Not marble, not silk sheets, concrete. His suit was torn, wallet gone, phone missing. People stepped around him like he was invisible. Some even dropped coins beside him like he was just another street ghost. "Get a job, old man," a teen muttered, kicking a soda cup his way. He grabbed the edge of a bench and pulled himself up. His reflection in a cracked storefront caught him off guard. He looked older, lines that weren't there yesterday, hair disheveled, a bruise on his cheek where Elia's fingers had touched him. He stumbled into a pharmacy and tried to shout at the clerk, but his voice came out wrong, raspy, weak. "Sir, are you okay?" the girl asked cautiously. "You don't look— Get me a phone, I need my assistant." "I'm Nathaniel Cole. Do you know who I am?" She blinked. "I don't know who that is. You need to leave now." No one knew him. Not the banks. Not his own company. His name wasn't in the system. It was like he'd been erased. That night, he broke into his old penthouse, same marble floors, same skyline, but everything was different. A new man lived there now, same nameplate on the door, Mr. Cole. But it wasn't him. It was a younger version, sharper, meaner. Nathaniel watched in horror as this new him laughed with a blonde in lingerie, throwing stacks of money in the air. It was like watching a twisted rerun of his own life, with someone else in the starring role. "What the hell is this?" he whispered. He backed out, stumbled down the emergency stairs, breath caught in his throat. That's when he saw the mural, painted on the side of the building across the street. A blind girl in white, surrounded by flames. Below it, 3 words: "She sees all." He started digging through the one thing left to him, memories. He remembered that girl in the hotel, the orphanage donation that covered up the mess, the fire that was blamed on faulty wiring. But he knew the truth now. He set that fire, not directly, but his silence, his money, his power. He used them to bury her story, to end her pain. But all he did was delay it. Now it was back. And it had teeth. He found the priest who used to run the cathedral. The man was frail now, tucked away in a hospice. When Nathaniel entered the room, the priest's cloudy eyes widened. "She's awake, isn't she?" he whispered. "You know her?" "Tati," the priest coughed. "I warned them not to name her Elia, that name. It's from the old texts, watcher of wrongs, the blind girl who sees through the soul." Nathaniel stared. "She was born under the blood moon," the priest murmured, "left at the church with eyes that saw memories, past sins, future punishments. She didn't cry like other babies. She listened. And one day she told me, 'I will walk through fire and return.'" Nathaniel stood frozen. "You think this is revenge," the priest said. "It's not. This is rebalancing. You stole her voice. Now she's rewriting your story." As Nathaniel turned to leave, the priest whispered one last thing. "She doesn't want to kill you, Mr. Cole. She wants to make you remember all of them." That night, he began seeing them, faces, one by one, the women, the workers, the children, people he ruined, stepped over, destroyed. and behind them all, standing like a judge in a courtroom of the damned Elijah, watching, waiting, and smiling. He stopped sleeping. Every time he closed his eyes, the dreams came, vivid, violent, real. Not nightmares. Memories, but not just his own. He dreamt of hands scrubbing floors until they bled, of little girls hiding under stained mattresses while footsteps thundered closer, of screams muffled by walls too thick for help to hear. They weren't dreams. They were the lives of the people he'd ruined. He woke up each time drenched in sweat, screaming. But the world outside didn't change. He was still invisible, forgotten, and replaced. One night he stumbled into an old motel. The man at the front desk looked up and said something strange. "I saw you in a dream," he whispered. "You were burning." Nathaniel collapsed in a filthy room, shivering. Then, at 3:03 a.m., the door creaked open. He didn't lock it. He didn't have to, because he knew who it was. She stepped inside slowly. No sound, no shadow. Elijah. But something was different this time. Her eyes glowed faintly white, and beneath her skin it looked like something was moving. Like smoke, or memory, or souls. He backed away. She didn't follow. "You remember now," she said quietly. "Don't you?" His voice cracked. "They told me you died." "I did," she said, and then she smiled. "But they never buried me. They bound me." He didn't understand. "What are you?" She walked closer. "I'm not a ghost. I'm not human. I'm what's left when you bury pain deep enough to grow roots." She crouched beside him, touched his face. "Every time someone like you makes a girl disappear, I come back." He started crying. "I didn't know. I was young, stupid. You were powerful." "That's worse," she whispered. "You knew what your silence cost. You just thought it would never catch you." Her hand slid over his chest, and then he was back there, not in a dream, in her past, inside her. He felt everything. The cold, floors of the orphanage, the hunger, the fear, the betrayal when the donor came. Mr. Cole, all smiles and handshakes, promising safety. Then the night, the screams, the smoke, the pain, and most of all, the sound of little voices burning alive. He woke back in the motel, on fire, not literally, but his skin crawled with it, every nerve screaming, every sin branded across his flesh. "Why me?" he gasped. "Why not just kill me?" She stared at him with pity. "Because people forget the dead, but they remember monsters." He collapsed again, sobbing. "What do you want me to do?" She stood. "Tell the world. I don't have a voice anymore." "Then steal one," she said coldly. "You did it your whole life." She turned to leave, then paused. "One more thing," she said, not looking back. "You were never cursed," he frowned. "Then what the hell is this?" "This," she said softly, "is forgiveness. Denied." And then she vanished. Again. But this time, something stayed behind. A scar, right over his heart, shaped like a flame. Nathaniel didn't leave the motel for 2 days. He sat with his back against the moldy wall, watching the flickering light bulb hum above him like it knew something he didn't. He tried calling the media. No one answered. Even the tabloids ignored him now. No bank account, no last name, no fingerprints in the system. He didn't just fall from grace, he ceased to exist. But he wasn't dead. That was the real punishment. He was haunted alive. Still, her words echoed in him like fire caught in a cage. Tell the world. But how? Who would listen? Who would care? Then he remembered something. Something small. Dumb. The janitor at his old company headquarters, a man named George, he used to mumble about conspiracy videos and truth channels, always waving that cracked tablet around during breaks. Nathaniel found him at a food truck behind a gas station. George was eating cold fries, hunched over a screen. "George," Nathaniel rasped. The man blinked. "Do I know you?" "It's me, Cole. Nathaniel Cole." George squinted. "You don't look like him. Cole's still on TV every week, yelling at interns or ringing some stock bell." I'm the real one, the original. George blinked slowly. Nathaniel reached forward, pulled back his sleeve, the flame-shaped scar, still red, still pulsing. George sat back, stunned. Holy! You're the one they say vanished. There were rumors. Some people say you died, some say you went underground after the slap video dropped. Nathaniel leaned closer. I need a voice, George. Yours. George looked around, then nodded slowly. You want to go public? I want to confess. They filmed it that night in George's garage. One shaky camera, one broken man. He told everything. The girl in the hotel, the orphanage, the fire, the cover-ups, the money. He named names, gave dates, documents he remembered, faces he still saw in his sleep. George uploaded it to every site, every underground network. They watched in silence as the view count ticked up. 1K, 10K, 100K. Then, nothing. It vanished. The whole internet purged the video. Even George's backup drive turned to static. How did they wipe everything? Nathaniel didn't answer. He knew it wasn't they, it was her, Elia, because it wasn't about exposure. It was about understanding. The next day, Nathaniel woke up outside again. But this time, he was on the steps of a school. A blind girl sat nearby, quietly reading a book with her fingers. Not Elia, another, younger, her eyes pale like ash. She looked up at him and smiled. She says you're trying, the girl whispered. His voice cracked. Who is she? The girl tilted her head. She used to be me, a long time ago. Then the school bell rang. The girl stood and walked inside. Nathaniel sat there long after the door closed, because that's when he realized Elia wasn't one person. She was every person he ignored, every victim turned to ash. And now, she was being born again, over and over, to haunt every coal that ever lived. The next week was ink and stillness, no whispers, no flames, no ghosts. Nathaniel found himself staying near that school, sleeping in alleys like a ghost clinging to a world that no longer cared. But each day, at exactly 3:33 p.m., the same blind girl walked by him and nodded. She says you're close, she'd whisper, then disappear inside. He didn't know what she meant. Was he earning redemption? Was this Elia's twisted idea of a second chance? But something was bothering him. Every time he watched the children at that school, he saw flickers. Not visions, not hallucinations, patterns, tiny signs, rhythmic glances, hand taps, like they were communicating with each other. But not in words. He started watching them closely, and that's when the paranoia returned. Because these weren't normal children. They were watching him, their pale eyes, their blind canes, their smiles. It hit him like a blade to the chest. They were all Elia, not reincarnated, not possessed, but fragments, pieces of a bigger thing, a being that never truly died. She had multiplied, and he wasn't just being punished anymore, he was being tested. One afternoon, the little girl approached him again. This time she didn't smile. She's ready. For what? He asked, voice cracking. To forgive me. The girl shook her head. To let you remember who you are. His breath caught. What do you mean? She tilted her head. You think this is your first life? And then she touched his forehead, and the world split open. He wasn't Nathaniel Cole, not originally. He was someone else, someone older, in another century, another lifetime. A judge who sentenced women for witchcraft. A plantation owner who sold a girl and laughed as she was dragged away. A politician who signed bills that erased the blind, the disabled, the poor. Every time he ruined her, every time she returned. And every time she waited for him to realize he and Elia were bound, not by blood, but by cycle. He was destruction, she was consequence. Two forces stuck in an eternal loop, until now. Because this time he remembered every detail, every lifetime, every betrayal, and suddenly, he wasn't scared. He was furious. You've been tormenting me for centuries, he growled. Every damn life. You punish, I crawl, you burn, I beg.